Have you ever realized that most of the conversation around starting over assumes that something went wrong? That you're here because life handed you something difficult, like a loss, a setback, a season that closed without warning? But what if that's not your story? Hi, I'm Sharlene Lee. Welcome to Your New Chapter, the podcast for women who are starting over and ready to do the work of rebuilding from the inside out, stepping into who they're becoming with clarity and intention. Welcome back, friends, to Your New Chapter. I am so grateful that you're choosing to spend some of your precious time with me today. Many women come to the point of starting over or the need to reinvent themselves due to a difficult situation. And those stories are welcome and important and valid here. But today, we're shifting perspective and we're going to be exploring the excitement and the positivity of starting over and reinventing yourself by choice. The woman who didn't wait for life to push her, but she chose to jump. Because this side of the conversation doesn't get nearly enough airtime. And it should, because it's so much fun and so exciting. So here's what we're going to cover in our time together today. We'll talk about the woman who chose to start over or reinvent herself and why that choice deserves to be honored. We'll also look at 3 of the most common evidence-based reasons why women are choosing to start over and reinvent themselves right now, and why each one is not just valid but genuinely powerful. And we'll talk about what a meaningful first step looks like if you are that woman who has chosen this. Let's start by acknowledging something which I think is very important. If you think about stories of women starting over or needing to reinvent themselves, so much of the language and the narrative around this tends to speak to the woman who arrived here through difficulty. And that makes sense. Life is bumpy and it throws things at us that we never could have imagined. Those experiences are real, and when you're in that type of situation, it can feel so heavy. And so those situations deserve space. But there are other women in this space, and her situation is equally as real. I'm talking about the woman who's looked at her life, a life that may have looked good on paper, a life she chose, she may have even loved at one point. But this woman felt a stirring, a pull towards something more, something different, a sense that she had grown beyond the chapter she was in and that something new was calling her. Women who are in this situation don't need a dramatic moment to give them permission. They give themselves permission. It may be a decision to leave a career that no longer feels right, to pursue something that's more aligned with who she's becoming, because often this pull towards something new is rooted in aligning ourselves with who we have evolved to become. Maybe, if this is you, you chose to start a business, to finally go after that thing you'd been secretly thinking about for years. Maybe it was a decision to redesign your life entirely, your priorities, your relationships, your daily rhythm. Because deep down, you know that the life you currently have is no longer a good fit for who you're becoming. So we've talked about this type of internal shift in the episode about what brings us to the point of starting over or rebuilding our lives. It's like you wake up one day and simply know that change is a non-negotiable. It's absolutely necessary. That quiet knowing is a completely valid thing and is often such a powerful catalyst for change. It doesn't need to be loud or dramatic to be real. So if what I've described is you are the woman who's chosen to start over, stick with me. And remember, choosing to start over doesn't mean your old life was bad. It means you've outgrown it And that's something to be celebrated, not questioned. Now we get to a very exciting part, and that is the reasons that women choose to start over. I've known many women who have made the decision over the years to start over, and they've chosen to do this for a variety of reasons. But I wanted to know more about these reasons, why women choose to start over, and the data tells us a compelling story about women and reinvention right now. There are 3 reasons that kept coming up as I did my research, and I think you'll recognize yourself in at least one of these. The first one is the pursuit of purpose and alignment. The research consistently showed that for many women, there comes a point where the question shifts from what do I do to what am I actually here for? I'm sure we've all asked ourselves that question. I know for sure I have many times. This used to be associated with kind of midlife crisis, but more and more women of all ages are asking this question. It's no longer relegated to women of a certain age. The question of what am I actually here for? This is not a crisis. I see it as an invitation. Some may even call it a calling. And more women are answering that call, it seems. For many women, starting over by choice is not about running away from something. It's actually about finally running towards something that was always meant for them. And there is an exciting and empowering journey of discovery that happens when a woman chooses to find the answer to this question of what am I actually here for? The second reason that came up in my research is around entrepreneurship and financial independence. Now, this one makes me really excited, although you'll hear me say that about a lot of things, but this really is exciting. I learned that women started almost half of all new businesses in 2024 here in the US. That's up from just 29% in 2019. That is a whopping 69% increase in 5 years. Nearly 3/4 of women who launched businesses cited the desire to work on their own terms as one of the driving reasons why they started their own business. 62% said that they wanted to be their own boss. Of the women who started businesses, almost half of them noted the need or the desire for financial independence as central to their happiness, and entrepreneurship is increasingly the path they're choosing to get there. This isn't really a trend or a fad, it's more like a movement. Incredible women in all walks of life are reinventing themselves professionally at an extraordinary rate and doing it deliberately, purposefully, and on their own terms. You see, I told you it was exciting. The third most common reason women were choosing to pivot and start over by choice is flexibility and values alignment. The National Women's Business Council survey found that 61% of women entrepreneurs cited flexibility as a primary reason for starting their own businesses. Interestingly, the flexibility these women are after was more than just about schedules and working hours. It was about building a life and a career that actually reflected who they were, their values, their priorities, their vision of what a good life looks like. In short, they wanted something that aligned with their true identity, which you know is something that is very central to the work I do. Now, if any of these reasons resonate with you, then you should know that you're not alone in your decision. So friend, if this is you, if you are the woman who has chosen to reinvent or start over, here's something practical that you can take away. Because choosing a new chapter is one thing. Knowing how to step into it can be a whole different ballgame. The first thing to do is to get really clear on your why. Not the surface level answer, not I want a new career or I want more flexibility. Those are fine and those are reasons. But I'm talking about the deeper why underneath those things. What will more flexibility do for you? What is it that you are truly moving toward? What does this next chapter mean to you at your core? What kind of woman do you want to become in this next season? Your why is the thing that will anchor you. When the challenges come, and they will, because life can be bumpy, your why is what keeps you grounded and moving forward. It's also the thing that you can come back to when those doubts creep in, or when the new chapter feels way harder than you expected. When you wonder if you made the right choice, coming back to your why will remind you that you did. A simple way to start is just to sit with this question. What is it that I truly want for this next chapter of my life? And why does it matter to me? Just sit with that question, ponder it over the next few days or even weeks, and be expecting answers to come to you. If we ask the question, we must be expectant. We must believe that answers will come. The clearer you are on your why, the more confidently you will move forward. Now, getting clear on your why is a powerful first step, but I also want to remind you that you don't have to figure out what comes next alone. This is exactly where coaching can make a real difference. Having someone walk alongside you as you step into this new chapter, helping you to get clear on who you are, what you truly want, and how to build it can be the difference between going around and around in circles and actually moving forward with clarity and confidence. If you're ready to take that next step, I would love to be part of that journey. And so I invite you to take advantage of a free complimentary clarity call with me so we can explore this further. So let's bring this together. Today, we shifted perspectives and celebrated the woman who is starting over and reinventing herself by choice. We looked at 3 evidence-based reasons women are making this choice right now: the pursuit of purpose and alignment, the rise of entrepreneurship and financial independence, and the desire for flexibility and values alignment. And we talked about the most important first step, getting really clear on your why. I want you to remember this. You didn't stumble into where you are right now. You chose it. And that makes you exactly the kind of woman this podcast is here for. If you are the woman I've spoken about today and you've chosen to embark on a new chapter by choice, I hope that this episode has encouraged you and given you hope. Thank you so much for being here today. Take care of yourself this week, and I will see you in the next episode.